Hello indie game fans, we have another lot of surprise releases that I didn't manage to cover the last time around, with a number of free student titles that are really worth a look, as well as the usual 1.0 releases, and even one that surprised the heck out of me. Coverage of the retro FPS event Realms Deep continues with White Hell, a game set in Frostbound Finland after the apocalypse. First things first, the early polygonal look is very reminiscent of shooters from the 90s like Half-Life, where you play as a survivor of said apocalypse who has to fight extremist groups in order to survive. On top of the expected guns, there are eldritch powers and weapons here, where gathering enough magic energy allows you to transform your weapons into more powerful versions. There's a kick mechanic as well that allows you to launch enemies off ledges with fun, fast action that will please fans of the genre. For a student project, I'm tremendously impressed with Blood Spear, a grimdark third-person action title that has more than a little in common with Dark Souls. Interestingly, you are the demonic spear in this game, compelling a warrior to wield you, where the bloodthirst is real as you absolutely pierce a path through your enemies. The visuals are very impressive, but the ability to throw the spear does change up the traditional Souls-like combat. Again, for a student project to be of this quality is neat, and in line with many other student projects, is free on Steam, so do give it a go, and to keep up with interesting titles like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. This video is brought to you by Tetragon, a puzzle platformer that involves the rotation of levels and going in and out of planes of existence. Play as a man in search of his lost son, having to figure out the solutions in order to progress forward. If you love puzzle games, I would implore you to check this out. Where it's out on Steam, PS4 and 5 via backwards compatibility, Xbox and Switch. So do pick this up on your platform of choice.
What do you think you're looking at?
One of the most visually interesting roguelite deck builders currently in early access is Doors of Insanity, coming to us from developer One Shark with their signature art style, where early access has been smooth so far, and what you're looking at is the Masteries update. It allows you to choose between the Equipment Master, Summoner and Spicy Dice Master, each adding various benefits, encounters and enemies, making it one to get even in its current form.
So there's this assassin. He takes this job from the mayor. He isn't sure what he's gonna get paid, but assassins need to assassin, so he gets to it. But the target is a girl. Yeah, a girl. That seems morally problematic, but she is a necromancer, so maybe she is evil? And there are rabbits. very talkative rabbits. And the world is huge, really huge, and it's dangerous. Good thing the assassin is an assassin, but it's tough being an assassin in a world where choices have consequences. Do you kill? Do you have mercy? Do you trust the rabbits? What you do and don't do has permanent consequences.
An interesting looking smaller action-adventure RPG is How to Make a Killing, one with a relatively simple pixel art style but should be of interest to fans of the genre. While visually simple, there are ambitious ideas here, such as it being an open world experience and that your choices do have an effect on the world, making this a title of interest. The developer of Herder did reach out to me, where it's one of the most weirdly interesting games that I have come across. Play as a simple shepherd tending to his flock, ensuring that they get enough food and are safe, and then things get weird. Yes, there are defense elements here in having to fend off wolves and bears, but in addition to bear traps and fences, you straight up have mines and assault rifles, where it's about trying to survive as long as you can in order to get the high score. One more student project of interest is Alpaca Stacka, one of the most adorable 3D platformers where you're exploring an island to gather a bunch of chicks, looking so cute, and for free, why not give it a go? An impressive recent traditional roguelike is Jupiter Hell, where you play as a space marine type on the moons of Jupiter, pitted against a host of demonic forces, so it's time to rip and tear. If that setup is very familiar, you'll be interested to know that this developer was behind the fan project Doom Roguelike back in the day, but had to change the name, enemies and setting due to IP issues, but it is essentially the same setup but is doing its own thing. While the action in the trailer does look like it's in real time, the actual game is fully turn-based, and with a variety of weapons and character classes at your disposal, will be worth picking up. Surprise! One of the hidden gems in the farming action-adventure space hits version 1.0 today with Serene Fate, one where you play as a witch and is set in a magical world. As compared to most other farming sims, the focus here is more on exploration and combat, where there's an actual narrative storyline in this about a witch training up in magic in order to take on the monsters of the world. Yes, while there are farming, fishing, mining, and other such skills and features, they are all in service of the larger plot, which makes it something different. Additionally, there are Pokemon-like familiars that you can tame and train up to help you in battle, adding another aspect to a great game. I love the pixel art look, which is up there with Stardew Valley, but I do think that this is a little more difficult to read, but if you love the farming sim like me, do give this a go.
Some kids just don't fit in. They don't have goals. They don't have ambitions. They don't try much of anything. Kids like us. sometimes, someone stupidly believes in kids like that. And when someone like that disappears, when they're taken from your life, you'll do everything. Anything you can to save them. It doesn't matter what stands in your way. Not monsters, not armies, not even each other. People who believe in you, who believe in us.
Alright, so of course the weirdest part about Young Souls is that it kinda dropped out of nowhere without warning and is a Stadia timed exclusive for whatever reason, but it does look like a promising beat-em-up RPG that's worth a play. Enter an alternate realm where goblins roam free, fighting against these creatures in search for your missing foster father. The two character setup does allow for both solo and co-op play, where there are a number of upgrade systems like equipment, as well as physical training, which is realistic enough, but let's hope it's not too grindy. Still, a weird platform to release on, which makes it a surprise, taking the #1 spot. For more beat-em-up titles, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.